ACC men's basketball tournament.
This is going to be a fantastic matchup.
Anything you can do, I can do better.
They'll go into the tournament with plenty of momentum.
Yeah! Give it to him!
Double, wow, what a play.
Hubert Davis's team stays in front.
Are you kidding me?
Must-see TV. Harris has really been the man for BC.
That is big time.
Three-ball goal.
Filipowski, one of the best.
Ready to rock.
Breakaway.
Hey! It is quarterfinal Thursday here in the nation's capital, and the action is only going to continue to heat up. The Florida State Seminoles, who took care of Virginia Tech yesterday, now they get a date with the #1 seed, the North Carolina Tar Heels. The Heels are in the halls. They are ready. The regular season champions playing for a championship this week, maybe playing for a 1 seed as well. Lots of good stuff coming up over the next few days here in Washington. Welcome to ESPN's Champ Week, presented by Principal. This is the ACC men's basketball tournament presented by T. Rowe Price. How about Jamir Watkins yesterday for Florida State? 34 points, 11 rebounds, as he and Jalen Worley and others led the Seminoles to a win over the Hokies. And now they're into the quarterfinals in the first of 4 games you will see today and tonight on our family of networks. Pit and Wake, that one is huge, obvious bubble implications. And then Virginia, BC, Duke, NC State rounding out the action tonight. Hi again, everybody. Dan Schulman and Jay Billis here inside Capital One Arena. We've got Carolina, Florida State, and just a great season so far for Hubert Davis and the Heels.
Well, North Carolina was the outright ACC champions. They have the ACC Player of the Year in R.J. Davis and the ACC Coach of the Year in Hubert Davis. They've won 80% of their games. They've been magnificent all season long, especially on the defensive end. But they're facing a different challenge today in Florida State. Long, athletic. They switch everything. They force a lot of turnovers. But North Carolina needs to get to the free throw line. They were dominant in the 2 games they played against Florida State from the line, out shooting the Seminoles 55-19 from the free throw line. That has to continue today for North Carolina to win this game.
Hubert Davis, the ACC Coach of the Year, his 3rd season. Of course, in year 1, they went all the way to the national championship game, and now they look like a team that certainly is in contention to have a deep postseason run. Leonard Hamilton in his 22nd year as the head coach in Tallahassee, 3-time ACC Coach of the Year, and this is a dangerous team because of their depth, their length, their style. They are no fun to play against, and yes, Carolina beat Florida State in both of the regular season matchups. But in the first game, the Seminoles led by 14 early in the second half. In the second game, by 8, but couldn't close the deal in either one.
Yeah, Carolina actually put on a full court press when they were down 14, and that was the difference in the game.
Worley lost it, but it will stay with Florida State. 10 on the shot clock as we show you the starting lineup for the Seminoles. And again, they are very deep. Leonard Hamilton used 9 yesterday, and that was tightening up the rotation. Watkins is the guy, but Darren Green Jr., he had a quiet day. Just 1 made 3 against Virginia Tech yesterday, but he is liable to go off at any time. Baba Miller with the first bucket of the game.
Just a little flex cut, a little cross screen, down screen action, and Baba Miller came off that and did a great job of posting up Harrison Ingram. And I don't think Ingram can go for that steal there. He's got to stay between Miller and the basket, make him score over him.
And right now, Watkins is on Cadeau. Back cut by R.J. Davis. Missed the layup. It hit his foot. And it winds up in the hands of Cormac Ryan, who misses the 3. Armando Bacot with the offensive rebound, and he can't convert.
Well, it looked like there was a lot of contact on R.J. Davis when he went up for that shot and hit the deck.
And this is what Watkins did so well yesterday against Virginia Tech. But a good job by Cadeau making that tough on him.
Making it tough. There was a ton of body contact there. This has been an interesting start with no whistles on those 2 plays.
Florida State switching almost everything, so you're going to get all kinds of matchups. Right now, Green is on R.J. Davis, the leading scorer in the league. Cadeau into Bacot. Triple teamed. They'll give Cadeau the 3. And Miller the rebound.
Florida State did a great job of getting into the paint against Virginia Tech in yesterday's game. They had 48 points in the paint. They need to continue to attack that lane and put pressure on this North Carolina defense.
Floater from the baseline won't go for Worley, and back come the Heels in transition.
Really Cadeau to stay in front.
What a magnificent year for R.J. Davis. Better than 21 a game. Off the glass, he banks it home.
Against Florida State, it's really difficult to run offense because they switch 1 through 5, and they switch to deny. But R.J. Davis, he's an individual playmaker, so he can take the defense on his own. And in the 2 games they played, he averaged 25.5 points, 27 and 24 in the 2 games.
Miller into Corin, but he's out of bounds.
All right, take a look at Baba Miller here. Where is he? I can't find him. There he is, right there. He comes off that little cross screen, and then there's a down screen for him, and he gets that low post position. You've really got to communicate on that defensively, and North Carolina's been a great defensive team all year long. They've got to continue that in the postseason.
Top 5 in the country in adjusted defensive efficiency per Ken Palm. A good offensive team as well, but it's the defensive numbers that jump off the page at you. Harrison Ingram, the transfer from Stanford, what a great year he has had for the Heels. Davis always in motion, finds an open Ingram, and he buries it.
Hey, what a great find by Elliot Cadeau to the cutting R.J. Davis. That drew the defense, and Harrison Ingram just positioned himself on the opposite side of the three-point line. That was excellent offense.
And now we're having an issue with one of the baskets. Something is hanging by a thread, literally. It appears down from the basket, from the bottom of the backboard, and that's going to create a delay. I'm not sure exactly what it is or what needs to be done with it, but we're going to have a bit of a delay here.
Looks like a microphone, doesn't it?
A microphone that became dislodged with the contact or the ball going through the basket. And now people are on phones, Jay, trying to find the person who can fix it.
Don't you have a piece of tape you can run out there with? Come on, Dan.
We'll get on it during the break. 5-2 Carolina early. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by T. Rowe Price. Invest with confidence. And in part by Taylor Swift, the Eras Tour, streaming tonight only on Disney+. Well, back here in Washington, many moons ago, Leonard Hamilton was the head coach of the Washington Wizards. And for 15 games, 1 season, Hubert Davis played under Hamilton with the Wizards, as Hubert was traded over here at the time that Leonard was the coach. So they know each other well from way back when. With more, here's Jess Sims.
Hey guys, so UNC's coach Hubert Davis was born in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, but he calls DC home. And that brings about some really great memories because his father spent 35 years working for the Department of Education for the U.S. government, but it also brings back some really sad memories of taking his mother for doctor's appointments and chemotherapy and radiation before she passed from oral cancer when he was just 16. But the bittersweet homecoming also reminded him that the last time the ACC tournament was here in D.C., it was 2016, and they won.
And our own Joel Berry, now doing great work on the ACC network, was the most outstanding player of that tournament back in 2016. Great stuff, Jess. Thank you. 5-2 Carolina early. Dan Schulman, Jay Billis, Jess Sims, and Baba Miller ties it with a corner 3. He's got all 5 early for Florida State.
All right, he was wide open. North Carolina more concerned with the lane than they were the three-point line with Miller. Miller only shoots about 29% from 3, but you can give him one that wide open, he'll hit it.
Cadeau trying to get it inside to Baycott. He does, and Baycott has it stripped.
A great position and a fabulous angle. But that's Florida State. They can knock that ball away. Average 9 steals per game. That leads the ACC.
Darren Green Jr. misses the 3. Davis down with a rebound. Green, a 39% three-point shooter on the season. Cormac Ryan had his heel out of bounds when he caught that pass.
North Carolina trying to pack the paint. Harrison Ingram just comes in, got caught a little bit in no man's land, worried about getting a block out. And look at that angle that Armando Bacot had, but just a terrific strip by Darren Green Jr. So the Florida State could take it the other way. You have to be so strong with the ball against these guys because they are athletic. When they switch, they will reach and they go for the ball to get steals, and they get a lot of them.
But Jay, with them switching 1 through 5, at times Bacot like there will find himself with a smaller player on him. Do you expect Carolina to try to go into him whenever they can in that situation?
Well, you'd hope so. I think they want to go into him in every game and establish themselves inside out because Carolina wants to get to the free throw line. And you've got to touch the paint to do that, whether it's getting it into Bacot or driving it. And that free throw advantage that Carolina had in the first 2 games these teams played was instrumental in Tar Heel victories.
The first game was way back on December the 2nd. The second one on January the 27th. Steals, as Jay mentioned, turnovers forced, blocks per game, 3rd in the league. They get their hands in the passing lanes. They've got a lot of length, like every Leonard Hamilton coach team does.
But oddly enough, not a great defensive rebounding team, Florida State.
Watkins wound up on the deck, but Carolina can't take advantage, and they turn it over for the 3rd time already.
It surprised Withers a little bit when that ball was thrown to him. He was really good in that game against Duke.
Worley with a floater that won't go. Withers, the Louisville transfer, down with it off to Seth Trimble, who has checked into the game as well for Carolina.
Trimble can really attack off the dribble, especially with a right-hand drive.
They're trying to make it tough on Davis, and they do. A block by Worley. Green with the 3. And Withers getting back to rip down the rebound.
Darren Green Jr. last couple games really struggled, but he's a good shooter, man.
And how about when Harrison Bacot runs the floor? He gets some easy buckets.
It just puts so much pressure on your transition defense when big guys run.
Did I say Harrison Bacot? When Armando Bacot runs the floor. But imagine if you put Harrison Ingram and Armando Bacot together and made them one player.
That'd be pretty good.
Armando Bacot getting down the floor. 2nd team All-ACC this year. And the mid-range jumper for Cam Corrin to tie it up for the Seminoles.
Cam Corrin is really coming along. Going into that Virginia Tech game, in his last 4 games, he was averaging 15 points and shooting over 60% from the field. He had some really good minutes in the game against the Hokies.
This is a Seminoles team not under consideration for the NCAA tournament at this time. Obviously, they've got a lot of work to do as Trimble knocks it down. But if they can pull off an upset victory over a potential 1-seed kind of team, the 4th-ranked team in the nation, that is a step in the right direction for Florida State. They're dangerous here this week.
That shot by Seth Trimble. He's a guy that really embraces his role. Big-time defender.
Bacot knocks it away. Corrin gets it back. You saw Carolina playing off Worley. He is not a 3-point shooter, but he can get to the rim and he can follow his own miss. Tied up at 9. Knocked away from behind. Corrin tipped it away. Worley out ahead of the pack, and he lays it in as Florida State takes the lead.
But Carolina is coughing the ball up. And you give credit to Florida State for the pressure, the active hands, but Carolina's got to do a lot better job protecting the ball. It's like telling a running back, you go through the line. You better protect that thing because the defense is punching at it to knock it loose.
Corrin switches out onto Davis. Davis can't get rid of him. Trying to get by him. And you know what? You tip your cap to Davis on that one if you're the Seminoles.
Yeah, talk about great offense being just a little bit better than outstanding defense. But they made him work for that.
A quiet start for Jameer Watkins, who was anything but quiet yesterday against Virginia Tech. A Florida State ACC tournament record, 34 points. 14 of 17 from the line.
Not a good shot.
Air ball by Miller. Watkins puts it home.
Boy, Corrin just reached around Armando Bacot to knock that away. Bacot had great position, and Florida State turned nothing into something because of it.
Bacot baseline for the jam.
Well, that's the kind of strength that Carolina has to play with against this Florida State team because the Seminoles are attacking.
Good start to this one. Tied at 13, 8.5 in. Speaking of attacking, tipped up, but basket interference called on Miller. Wave it off. And a timeout on the floor. 13-13 here in quarterfinal number 1 of the ACC tournament. All tied up at 13 in the early going here between the Seminoles and the Tar Heels. And one thing, Jay, that you and I and everybody else who follows North Carolina has seen for 5 years is Armando Bacot's going to run the floor about as well as any big guy around.
He does run, and this isn't a dead sprint, obviously, but he runs right down the middle of the floor. Actually, Jalen Withers beats him down there, but nobody from Florida State picks him up. And North Carolina, in its history, has always been relentless in running. They run the floor. Their transition is really dangerous. And when your big guys run, it really makes it difficult on opposing big guys. And it has a cumulative effect. It can wear you out. But that's where Florida State's depth really helps the Seminoles, because they play so many different guys. You're not going to wear them out as easily.
As you can see, Bacot's on the bench. Davis is on the bench. Jalen Washington is into the game for Carolina. Extremely productive in limited minutes playing behind Bacot, number 13 in white. And Leonard Hamilton has made 3 substitutions, including Jalen Gainey, a 6'9", sixth-year player coming in. What a left-handed scoop. That was beautiful by Cadeau.
Cadeau has really been attacking. He's not a perimeter shooter, but everybody's going to play him for the drive. And still, when he catches it, he can drive and get to the paint.
Coming off a baseline screen, getting open, but missing the shot is Primo Spears, who had 15 in the win yesterday. Trimble kicks it out. Ingram now with the green on him.
But Trimble is such a versatile player. He can really go out there and play the point for you. And he's a great matchup to have on Jameer Watkins as a defender, because he's strong. Great play. That's no good. Basket interference.
And Withers can't believe it. He could see it wasn't going through the basket. He kind of hung on the rim, didn't know what to do, and an easy 2 comes off the board.
Bull Bowen got caught ball watching. And how did that not go completely through?
Well, there's a transfer from Louisville, only getting about 12 minutes a game, but a good player, an experienced player.
And he's using his athleticism. He's been playing really well of late. I thought he was really good in that game against Duke. I think he had 8 rebounds in that one.
Watkins kicks to a wide open Taylor Bull Bowen, who knocks down the 3, and then Watkins goes flying at midcourt.
And he got caught up with Harrison Ingram.
Doesn't take much when 2 teams have played each other twice already in the regular season, and that doesn't happen as often as it used to with conferences getting bigger, but teams tend to get tangled up a little bit more when they meet for the 3rd time. No love lost.
A subway push.
Midway through the first half, Florida State, the 9 seed, with a 1-point lead. Cadeau. Washington lays it in.
What a great job by Jalen Withers to set a little screen there to help free up Elliot Cadeau.
A member of the ACC all-freshman team, Cadeau, and he had a very good game against Florida State January 27th, 16 points and 6 assists. Green does not get the bounce, and the rebound down to Ingram, who led all players in rebounding during ACC games. Even better than Bacot.
That was a big-time rebound by Harrison Ingram. And when he grabs it, he can rip and run. But take a look here at Elliot Cadeau. Now, a good job by Jalen Withers to just bump both defenders, and he gets all the way to the rim and gives it to Jalen Washington. This drive, he just drives the closeout, gets right by Bull Bowen, and that's a spectacular finish with the left hand.
Ingram into the backcourt to run it down. Cadeau and Trimble are the guards right now for Carolina.
Carolina's playing with really good pace offensively. Just attacking.
Ooh, you could hear the slap all the way over here as Withers got fouled.
And a smart cut out of the left corner by Jalen Withers. I think Hubert Davis has to be really pleased with the pace at which North Carolina is playing.
We talked to him before the Duke game on Saturday. They won at Cameron, sweeping the regular season series, and boy, was Hubert happy with his team. One of the things we asked him is how a lot of new faces in a tough year last year. How long did it take everybody to come together? And he said, like, less than no time. He said as soon as everybody showed up, you could feel the bond. He gives Ingram a lot of the credit for that. R.J. Davis took off, had a wonderful season. Obviously, we've got a great player alongside him in Baycott. Cormac Ryan coming over from Notre Dame and fitting in. And this group blended together seamlessly, it seems, very early.
Well, the blending together is an important factor, but I'm amazed, frankly, at how they've embraced defense to this level. You know, it's been a long time since you talked about North Carolina, and the lead story was defense. It's not that they haven't been good defensively, they have, but it's just their offense has always been so powerful. That was the lead story. You know, this year you talk about Carolina and how good they are. You go, man, this team can really guard. You know, they are gritty defensively.
Worley trying to back down Cadeau. Got a big size advantage on him. Too strong off the glass. It's still loose. It's a rugby scrum. And it's a shot clock violation.
Well, the Carolina fans are cheering for that like they're Virginia fans.
No, don't get crazy. Don't get carried
shot
away
clock
now.
violations are standing O's.
I think 7 of the 10 players were in there battling for it.
You saying the other 3 were cherry picking?
Bol Bowen will back off as Cadeau brings it over. Davis has returned. Baycott has returned.
The horn set, 2 up top, 2 in the corners, and that's just going to get Armando Baycott isolated in the low block.
Boy, Withers spun and kind of backed into Bol Bowen. He didn't even know he was there, and Bol Bowen is shaken up. Bol Bowen is a little bit slight of frame, and he got the worst of that.
Well, he's trying to get around Armando Baycott to get in front because he was being just held off. Got his arm around Baycott. There was no call there, but he got the foul another way.
Florida State's been called for 2 fouls. Carolina yet to be whistled for a foul. Almost 12 minutes into the game. Davis again with size on him, and Bol Bowen got him in the air and draws the foul.
That's an up and under move, Dan.
Yes. Thank you. And he left the floor.
What a tough cover for Bol Bowen to have to guard R.J. Davis. And Davis has been really aggressive putting the ball on the floor. There's the up. There's the under. That is a term of art, Sports Center anchors. It's not just a guy going around to the other side of the basket.
And at the line, Carolina's all-time career leader in free throw percentage, 86%. R.J. Davis, 89% this year. And as mentioned off the top of the show, the ACC Player of the Year, and he's in some pretty good company, isn't he?
Just being a player at North Carolina puts you in some pretty good company. But that's elite company. I would have thought, though, there'd be more than 5 with all the great players that North Carolina's had. But you know, this has always been a team program. Carolina's switching 1 through 3. Florida State switches 1 through 5.
Watkins strong again. A foul on Ingram, and the basket will count.
Demir Watkins was magnificent yesterday against Virginia Tech with 34 points and 11 rebounds. And talk about strength. He just went right into the neck of Harrison Ingram to get that bucket.
Back to D.C. at Capital One Arena. Darren Green Jr. has his whole family in attendance again today, including his 13-year-old little sister, Daylin, who Darren says is his best friend. Daylin was diagnosed with a rare form of Down syndrome when she was just 18 months old. She loves watching her brother play basketball. Darren always looks for her during the pregame shoot-around where they share a very special exchange. I talked to Daylin yesterday, and she said she wanted to see Darren play defense against Virginia Tech, but today she wants to see him shoot.
That is great stuff, Jess. Thank you so much for that. As Darren's biggest fan looks on here in Washington, and as she well knows, he can shoot the ball.
What a beautiful family. He can really shoot the ball. And you really can't leave him, and he gets it off so quickly, and especially in transition. He's the first guy you have to find. That's where Carolina wants to see him, is sitting over there.
Yeah. Watkins at the line, and again, he made a living at the line yesterday, 14 of 17. he's a difficult guy to say, okay, that's the player I want on him. Is it Ryan? Is it Trimble? Do you put Ingram on him for more size? What do you think the best matchup is?
I think the best matchup for him is Seth Trimble. Now, Carolina is going to switch 1 through 3, so you're going to have different guys on him. But Trimble, because of his strength, how he gets down in a stance, he is really difficult to get by. Good pass.
And Baycott, another bucket.
Warren got caught on the high side trying to, one, discourage the pass, but also extend it. Make Baycott catch it further out from the elbow. And he just back cut him. Nobody in the middle because he had 2 players in the corners in that Horn set.
Miller with a height advantage on Ingram. This is tipped away by Cadeau, but Jackson has it for the Seminoles. Spears. He got caught in the air and he turned it over.
Great defense by Cormac Ryan.
Cadeau flying down the court and laying it in.
How about that in-air adjustment made by Elliot Cadeau? And give credit to Cormac Ryan. He was weaking that up at the top, meaning forcing the ball handler to his weak hand, and that was a big part of it.
Spears, who can be instant offense off the bench for the Seminoles with a mid-range jumper.
Well, Spears didn't play in the first game between these two, but had 10 points in the second. And he provides a level of explosiveness that I think Florida State's going to need in this.
And again, Leonard Hamilton's gone 9 deep so far. He can sometimes go 11 or 12. Went 9 yesterday. Baycott wants goaltending, but Miller credited with a block.
Carolina used that Horn set to really spread out this Florida State defense.
And Spears missing the 3. He's just 26% from out there. Good deep position by Baycott and a foul on Corin, his second.
Great job by Cormac Ryan to send the ball to the left. Primo Spears made to go to his left. And what an adjustment in air to get past Spears and lay it up off the glass. That's just absolutely beautiful. Now here's Cadeau. Like, Corin gets caught on the high side. I don't know why he was guarding it that way, but he just gave a lane to the basket and a simple pass for an easy bucket.
He's really, I mean, he was a very good player when he showed up, obviously, but he's really improved and developed over the course of his freshman season.
Well, he's attacking, but a guy that really doesn't shoot it, you know, he hasn't even hit 10 threes on the season. So you're playing him as a driver, and he still drives it.
Ingram with a size advantage on Spears, but Spears gets his hands in there, makes it tough. Ingram's trying again. And will go to the line.
They decide not to double him, and we've seen this all year long with Harrison Ingram. He will just back down a matchup that he likes, and Hubert Davis will isolate him on either side. But he shoots that turnaround jumper very effectively, and unless Spears gets a hand on it, he's not big enough to really bother that.
12.5 points, better than 9 rebounds per game this year. Coming up at 5 p.m. Eastern, it's ACC PM, and then tonight at 11:30 Eastern, after all 4 quarterfinals have been settled, the Nothing But Net crew will have a complete breakdown of today's ACC tournament games.
Carolina wants to live at this foul line. You know, the free throw line is the most efficient place to score on a basketball court. Dean Smith identified that earlier than anybody. He was really the first to use what they call analytics now, points per possession.
Spears gets free on the baseline. That's one of his spots.
This really came off a low screen, and Ryan tried to go over the top and gap it. And Spears just faded more into the corner. He's wide open.
Baycott now being defended by Jalen Gainey. Corin's gone to the bench with 2 fouls. Again, they're making Davis take tough twos. Baycott had it, lost it, and it's Miller in Florida State, but not for long. The foul called on Baba Miller. Another great play by Elliot Cadeau.
An alert play. Well, Florida State's so active in knocking the ball away. They knocked it away from Baycott, but just a great move on the ball in order to take it away from Miller. Miller just with a little grab. Otherwise, Baycott would have had a layup.
When the glasses come off, it's getting real for Hubert Davis. He'll put him back on, but
very conservative sport coach choice today by Hubert.
Cadeau's been diving all over the floor, and he may have to change the leggings at halftime.
Got a little blood on his right too.
Now he's driving. Tip back up and in by Ingram.
And that's a vulnerability for Florida State. They're not a great defensive rebounding team, but when R.J. Davis came off a screen to the left, that just opened up the middle, and Cadeau took advantage of it.
Yeah, you wouldn't think, but they, to your point, they are last in the ACC in defensive rebound percentage this season.
And part of it is the switching. You get caught in some matchups that aren't favorable for rebounding. But Carolina, very good offensive rebounding team. Not as powerful as in the past. Look at that hustle. Are you kidding?
Again, it's Cadeau. What a first half he's had.
He's everywhere. But that's how you tell. That's how you demonstrate want to. Florida State's bending at the waist, and North Carolina's diving on the floor. What a great play by Elliot Cadeau.
You look at the box score, it says 4 points, 2 assists. That does not tell even a small part of the story of how well he has played so far here today.
Just raises the energy level.
Yeah. A Carolina program that's only won the ACC tournament once since 2008. We talked about it. Joel Berry, the most outstanding player, 2016. They won it. Not only can they cut down the nets and win a championship here this week, also have a chance at a 1 seed, you would think, if they were to win this. And they've now got their largest lead of the game.
I just love the way they're playing. If this is an elite program with a blue-collar attitude.
That's a great combination. Green, no. Trimble the rebound, and they're running again. Baycott's running again. And going to the line.
You know what really made that was Harrison Ingram really running the floor. He cleared some space for Baycott to come behind him. But Cormac Ryan. Now watch this. This is an up and under move, ladies and gentlemen. How do you get that to go? He's on a heater, man. He's been playing great.
31 Saturday against Duke, and now they're dealing with that bloody right knee that Cadeau's got.
Didn't you love it after the Duke game when Harrison Ingram was interviewed talking about Cormac Ryan? He said, yeah, it was great. Those 31 points matched his age.
For those wondering, he's actually only 25. Year at Stanford, transferred to Notre Dame, 3 years there, and now a grad transfer year with Carolina. And boy, has he been impactful. Nine-point lead as they're stretching it out a little bit here in the late stages of the first half. Tough two, and a foul called on Ryan.
Caught him on the arm. I think the players sometimes get bothered by the fact that the whistle's late, but the referees just, it seems like this year they're just taking an extra beat to let the play be determined. And when he wasn't straight up and down, I'm not sure actually whether there was arm contact there, but when it looks like a foul, they're going to call it.
Watkins at the line. The VCU transfer surpassed 1,000 career points in yesterday's game.
That's a mark of a great college career.
Jay Billis, 1,062 career points to do. Many of them on up and unders, I understand.
Yes. Yep. I kind of got to let that go, don't I?
I think we're past that point. And he made them both. As well as Carolina's playing, and I agree with you, it's a 7-point game. They're making R.J. Davis work for his too. He does have 6 points, 3 assists in the game, but they're trying to deny him. And no matter who's guarding him, it's a guy with a good mobility, good reach, a lot of length.
Well, but the attention he draws opens things up for others.
And a foul called.
Which one?
It'll be Armando Baycott at the free throw line for 1-1 when we come back. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by principle. Let our expertise round out yours. And if you need a guy to dive on the floor, Elliot Cadeau is your man today. He's been doing it all afternoon. Got a bloody right knee out of it. They sent him to the bench to spray the wound to get that cleaned up a little bit. He is still on the bench as of now. But as you said, he has really kind of set the energy tone for Carolina here today.
Yeah, he's got double figures in floor burns already, but he's got 4 points, 2 assists, and 3 steals in just 11 minutes of game time. But the energy giving has been really significant.
Bacot at the line for Carolina. A much improved free throw shooter this year. Boy, I really laid the jinx out there. Right.
You're not one of, you don't believe in that.
I don't believe in the jinx.
I talk about no-hitters and free throw percentages.
You're not a baseball announcer.
They can't
you can talk about no-hitters all you want.
No, I thought it was for anybody.
No.
It's only announcers.
Yeah.
Well, the players don't mention it. They don't mention it for no-hitters, right? Isn't it like an unwritten rule of baseball?
Everybody's different. Yeah. If it was that much of a rule, they should write it down.
Exactly.
Tough turnaround, and it will go for Deontay Green.
Well, he had 12 points against North Carolina in the last game they played. And that's a tough one. Yeah. Armando Bacot was on the all-defensive team in the ACC. I'm still shocked he wasn't first team all-league. Good pass fake.
Tapped back out, and Ingram's got it again. Ryan is open on the wing and knocks it down.
Well, credit Armando Bacot for knocking that ball back out to Ingram. And Ingram could have shot it, but passed it to Ryan for the better shot.
Largest lead of the game for the Tar Heels.
Well, Trimble is sticking right with Watkins.
Davis sticking right with Darren Green Jr.
Good decisions.
Tipped away by Davis, and he is in all alone. And Leonard Hamilton has seen enough.
North Carolina is imposing its will on Florida State, and they're doing it on the defensive end. It has been 5 playing as 1 for the Baby Blue.
This is just the first of 4 quarterfinals here today, and the next one has all kinds of ramifications. First team All-ACC performer Blake Hinson and the Pitt Panthers taking on Wake Forest. No matter where you look, Joey Brackets, who you talk to, these are 2 bubble teams. This is a big, big game as the Pitt coaching staff looks on. I can't wait for this one. They split 2 during the regular season. Pitt won early in Pittsburgh, and then Wake blew them out later on in the season on their home court. It should be an absolutely fascinating and very, very intense basketball game.
The bus coming into the building was the only time that Blake Hinson isn't in range for a 3.
106 threes, I believe it is this year, leading the ACC. Cadeau's back into the game for Carolina. Wow. Davis pulls up from 3, and he's into double figures now with 11. What a career he's had. Nowhere to go for Baba Miller. Needs help. And kicks it back out. 12 to shoot.
But Carolina's defense has been stifling. They're communicating, protecting the paint, and every shot has been challenged.
Watkins for 3. It rattles out, and it's down to the heels, and as Ingram's upset. Thought he might have been shaken up a little bit, but he looks okay as he walks away.
In transition, R.J. Davis is looking to attack. And how do you guard this? You're trying to stop the drive because he is ultra quick. And Roy Williams, his wife Wanda, enjoying that. Do you hear Roy Williams say some of the early games he went to, he would start shouting at the players from the stands, and he goes, geez, I'm not coaching anymore.
He has had a lot of games, obviously, an incredible career, Hall of Fame career. And he coached R.J. Davis in Davis's freshman season. He coached Armando Bacot for 2 years, right? This is Hubert's 3rd year. And I think the officials are looking at the contact between Miller and Ingram. Ingram obviously getting the worst of it.
I think it was between Green and Cadeau.
Oh,
now watch Green here.
Oh, that there, yeah.
You know, Cadeau kind of had an arm wrapped around him, and Green took him to the ground. And they have to institute the 3 knockdown rule in this game. For every foul called, there have been 3 that should have been.
So nothing there, but there was a common foul called on Miller, so Ingram is back at the line. Told the story Saturday at the Duke game, but when we asked Hubert Davis, what do you like the most about Harrison Ingram? Hubert just burst into a big smile, and Hubert Davis might have the best smile in college basketball. Burst into a big smile and said, everything. And then he told us about 6 different things that he likes about him. Some of them were on the court stuff, and some of them were off the court intangible things.
The only thing I think he doesn't care for with Harrison Ingram, he says his musical tastes are all over the place. He said you should hear his playlist. You can't make any sense out of it.
I hate to tell you, Hubert, but like a lot of the rest of us, we're getting a little bit older, my friend.
Now, maybe you are. I'm still culturally relevant.
That's debatable. But more than I am, we can agree. Watkins has to kick it back out again. Florida State having trouble getting into their offense.
They can't run anything. They've barely been below the free throw line.
Watkins taking matters into his own hands, and it's another shot clock violation.
Boy, North Carolina hasn't been good defensively. They've been great. Just great.
And they're shooting 58% from the field, and they've scored 44 points in 19 minutes. They're playing well at both ends.
But, you know, I think those things are connected. I think the defensive energy and the way they're playing on the defensive end translate. First of all, it starts their transition. They've done very well in transition. But they've had Florida State, no pun intended, on their heels for quite some time. Not a bad pun.
Baycott spinning. The reverse won't go. And look who's got it, Ingram.
Baycott kept it alive again. Great second jump.
Ryan no, and Baycott has another one. Now Ingram's got it. Boy, they are dominating on the offensive glass. Baycott has it. And finally it pays off.
Baycott had his jersey pulled. He was grabbed. He was fouled 5 times on that possession, uncalled, and he never quit.
Well, to bring back something you said earlier in this game, this is a top-notch program that is playing with a blue-collar attitude right now. And what exemplifies it better than this possession?
Just big time by North Carolina. I mean, look, the arms wrapped around him at the beginning of that play, the first shot. His jersey was being pulled. Didn't complain, just kept playing through it. Amazing.
Final seconds of the first half.
Nobody's needed halftime more in a game than Florida State needs it now.
Carolina with lots of fouls to give. That's just the 3rd team foul here in the first half.
Boy, the celebration of the outright ACC title is over. Carolina came out in this game to take a swing at somebody.
Watkins in the corner, swings it to Spears, and he'll hit it.
What a pass. That was a bullet.
A 3 right at the end of the half for Primo Spears, but it is still a 16-point lead for Carolina, 46-30 after just a great 20 minutes of basketball at both ends of the floor. Closing the half on a 20-7 run, 10 offensive rebounds in 20 minutes of basketball. That is a big, big number, and one of the many good numbers that the Heels put up. Here's Jess Sims with Hubert Davis.
Coach, everybody knows how important defense and rebounding are to you. Currently, you are out rebounding the Noles 22-6. How proud are you right now?
Well, that's something that we talk about daily. That's who we are. We've got to be great defensively, and we got to do a really good job rebounding on both ends of the floor. And I feel like in the first half we've done that. We have to do that in the second half against a very good Florida State team.
Cadeau was everywhere in the first. How important is he for the impact and the energy so far?
Well, I think it's important for everybody to have that type of effort. Elliott was fantastic, but I think everybody else made energy and effort plays that allowed us to put us in a position to be up in the first half. So we have to continue to do that for the remainder of the game.
Thank you so much, Coach.
Jess, thank you. Boy, Coach Davis has a lot to be happy about. Time now for the halftime report. We'll send you cross court with Jay Will and Seth Greenberg. Here's Reese Davis. Welcome back to ESPN's Champ Week presented by Principal. This is the ACC Men's Basketball Tournament presented by T. Rowe Price. And boy, did Carolina do a lot of things well in the first half. Player of the Year, R.J. Davis, had 11 points. Armando Bacot was all over the place. 12 points, 7 rebounds, 5 of them at the offensive end. Harrison Ingram had 4 offensive rebounds in the first half. And Elliott Cadeau was everywhere. Diving all over the place, getting loose balls, distributing to his teammates, and making a spectacular driving layup as well. I mean, I can't think of one thing Hubert Davis could be unhappy about in that first half.
Well, I think this kind of encapsulates things. Armando Bacot had 7 rebounds in the first half. He out-rebounded the entire Florida State team. 22-6 in rebounds and 10 offensive rebounds for North Carolina. Everything tough North Carolina did at a higher level than Florida State. And I'm sure Leonard Hamilton and his coaching staff reminded the players of that this is not just an X and O thing. This is a heart thing. And when the ball's up there, when it's loose, go get it. And Carolina is first to the floor. They're first to the glass. And that's why they're leading by double digits at halftime.
Jess had a chance to speak to Leonard Hamilton. Jess.
I did, Dan. I talked to Coach Hamilton as he was coming out of the locker room. I said, hey, Coach, what's going through your mind? And he laughed and said, Jess, we're getting our butts kicked on the boards. They're more aggressive, so they're getting more free throws. We need to cut harder. We need to defend more. And he said, listen, we got 20 more minutes left. Let's see what happens.
I think Leonard Hamilton has perfected the stern coach look, and I'm sure his players saw a lot of it at halftime. Florida State with the first possession of the second half. The winner into the semifinals tomorrow night against the winner of our next quarterfinal today, Wake and Pitt. Turnaround, Watkins. And Ingram down with it for Carolina.
It's now
threw it off the bottom of the backboard, and it's still loose, and Florida State's got it.
And now Florida State. Watkins and Green Jr. are a combined 3 of 13 in this game. The defense that Carolina's played on those 2 outstanding scorers has been stellar.
Shot clock reset to 26 as the Seminoles inbound. Florida State, the 9 seed, 10-10 in the league, 17-15 overall. Worley gets into the paint and will go to the free throw line. Again, a big size advantage over a guy like Cadeau, and both Watkins and Worley very effective at backing down a smaller defender.
Yeah, Cadeau was reaching for the ball early and then tried to get vertical, but just caught him with the body as he was going up. But Carolina's doing a great job of getting into ball handlers. They're really crowding ball handlers and making it difficult for Florida State to get any sort of straight line drive.
So Jameer Watkins got the headlines yesterday for Florida State, but as you pointed out a couple of times during their win over Virginia Tech, if there was a Best Supporting Actor award given out yesterday, Jalen Worley would have gotten it.
18 points, couple of steals, 4 assists. He was terrific as a playmaker. He has really good vision, but that vision has been taken away by Carolina's defense in this one. Now Florida State going to put on full court pressure. It's a hard team to press because they've got so many ball handlers.
Even Ingram with the 4 spot can help out.
Exactly.
Great look. Ingram finds Bacot.
They just got Bacot stepping out to set that ball screen, and he immediately sprinted on the roll to the basket. They threw out of it, and he was wide open. It was a heck of a catch, though, because it had to go through some traffic to get there.
Green to Worley with 10 to shoot. Now Watkins. And a foul on Cormac Ryan.
Take a watch at Armando Bacot here. He gets a screen from Harrison Ingram. They just throw out of this in order to get the angle to catch him on the roll. Just a great catch through traffic. That was a needle threaded. It's really smart offense by North Carolina. Just spread out this Florida State defense and then attack. But that was a planned thing to throw out of that ball screen action to be able to get the roll.
Carolina finished the regular season having won 6 in a row, including the win at Duke on Saturday. Watkins at the line again for the Seminoles. Early in the season, Carolina lost an overtime game to Villanova, and then back-to-back losses to good teams, Connecticut and then Kentucky. So in December, you looked up and they were 7-3 at one point. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but they certainly appear to have taken their game to another level. I think more, if anything more, you've talked about the defense, but it feels like they really know who they are. They're very consistent game in and game out in trying to accomplish the things they want to accomplish.
Well, especially seemingly the last 10 games. I mean, they had a little bit of a, I'd call it a lull, maybe a hangover after the first Duke game at Carolina. They lost a couple games after that I would imagine Hubert Davis and the team thinks they should have won. But they've been very consistent with high-level effort of late. I mean, this is an outstanding team that can beat absolutely anybody.
Biggest thing I'm sure they'd love to accomplish this week is win a championship, cut down a banner. But as we mentioned, they figure to still be in contention for a 1 seed. Everybody knows and believes, I think, Houston, Purdue, UConn. They're going to be 1 seeds. Is the 4th one still up for grabs? And of note on that board right there, they beat Tennessee earlier this season. You never know if that could be a tiebreaker if it comes down to those two teams.
It very well could be. I think if Tennessee sweeps through and wins the Southeastern Conference tournament, they'll probably get it, even with the head-to-head. If Carolina were to win the ACC tournament.
And a 3 goes down for Darren Green Jr. and Florida State's gotten back within a dozen.
Just shot behind that little handoff action, and R.J. Davis got held up. But you're not gonna completely shut off Darren Green Jr. Great face.
Cormac Ryan. How much fun is he having in his last year of college basketball?
He's been shooting the ball so well over the last 7 or 8 games. That was a big-time shot fake and sidestep.
Baba Miller spinning on Ingram, and Ingram gets called for the foul.
Cormac Ryan just spotting up in that right corner and just gave the shot fake, let Baba Miller fly on by, and then that's a really good little handoff and screen by Worley. And the Green Jr. family loving it.
Miller at the line for Florida State. 6'11" sophomore from Mallorca, Spain. Averaging just under 8 points, 5 rebounds per game.
Yeah, Miller's only 19 years old as a sophomore. And if he sticks with it and continues to develop, he's got a ton of potential and a ton of talent.
Develop his game, get stronger, both.
Oh, for sure,
yeah.
both. I would say get stronger, one. Because he's very skilled now. He's going to get more skilled and get better. But I think strength is the big thing for him.
Cadeau out to Davis. In and out. Miller the rebound. And you can see 6'11". Look at how he can bring the ball up the floor. Offensive foul, though, called on Miller as Ryan takes the charge.
Great positioning by Ryan. Just that off arm came up. I'm not sure it was enough to knock him down, but it doesn't matter. He was there.
Number 3 on Baba Miller. Cadeau got grabbed twice. Yeah, they could give it to either guy. They're going to give it to Watkins.
I'm not sure any running back in the NFL is taking a beating like Cadeau's taken today. 2 fumble recoveries for him.
Had a bloody knee in the first half. They cleaned that up, gave him new leggings.
He's definitely had a leggings change.
Yes. 3 on Watkins. Bit of foul issues for Florida State, although they're very deep. But Watkins is one guy that cannot afford to lose. Good pass. Cadeau in the corner, misses the 3, and nobody boxes out on the weak side. And Ryan says, thank you very much.
And that's where some of the switching can mess up Florida State in blockout responsibilities, but it's sort of more of the same from in the first half. Just not able to get any rebounds. Man down.
5 on 4. Davis saves it, but cannot find Ryan, and Carolina turns it back over.
It is too early to give it up to Armando Bacot. Now watch Cormac Ryan, top of the key, and Watkins just stands and watches, and Ryan gets all the way to the rim. So that wasn't a switch. It was just a lack of effort from Jameer Watkins.
If you're at just about any team's practice, you'll hear over and over, find somebody, hit somebody, which is the coach of the defensive team saying, don't look at the ball. Hit first, then go get the ball.
Well, but if Watkins had gone after the ball, that'd be one thing, but he didn't do either.
Cadeau coast to coast and lays it in with the left. Boy, is he playing with a lot of confidence at this point of the season.
He's an attack guard, and he's doing all this without really shooting the ball from the perimeter. It's even more impressive that look at him fight against Miller inside. He's getting around, fronting, sitting on his legs.
Now switches off. Ryan takes him. Green from 17.
How quick is that trigger? My goodness.
Ryan shoos Cadeau away. Wants a 2-man game with a Bacot, it looks like. Now off to Davis.
Nobody puts Cadeau in the corner.
Deep one. Davis short. Long rebound to Ingram. Ryan. And it's all Carolina right now.
Well, you credit Carolina for that rebound, but you have to ask yourself right now, where's the want-to for Florida State? Yeah.
Which is not something you ask about a Florida State or a Leonard Hamilton team very often.
And I think Leonard's going to be asking that question in film session.
Cadeau to Davis. Count it. Lots of smiles for the guys in the white jerseys right now, and why not? Timeout, Leonard Hamilton.
North Carolina is getting whatever it wants. The drive to the basket in transition with the left-handed finish after the offensive rebound. Cormac Ryan wide open for the step-in 3, and then R.J. Davis just drop it behind, and he'll drop it in. The 16th ACC Player of the Year from North Carolina.
Here's where things stand currently in the ACC men's tournament presented by T. Rowe Price. This is the first of 4 quarterfinals, and the next one has all sorts of implications. The 4-seed Pitt making its debut in this tournament. Wake beat Notre Dame yesterday to get here. What does it all mean? Well, this is a double bubble kind of game. Joey Brackett says Wake Forest first 4 out, Pitt next 4 out. These are, and you and I have both watched these teams a lot this year. They both feel like really good teams as Hunter Salas, first team All-ACC for the Deeps, comes into the building. They both feel like really good teams with the Pitt staff looking on, but they both appear to be on the bubble. Was watching one of the evening games last night, and Joe Lunardi came on and said, I don't call it a play-in game. I think of it as a play-out game. In his opinion, Jay, whoever loses will not make the NCAA tournament, and whoever wins will be in good shape, but he's not willing to commit to them getting in. However you want to slice it, it's a doozy.
It's an important game.
Yeah. And they're 2 good teams, 2 fun teams that can beat just about anybody when they play their best. Pitt won at Duke this year. Wake beat Duke this year. I mean, they're both very good teams.
The rebounding advantage for North Carolina in this game is stunning. It's 29-8.
Yeah. Davis with a floater. They're not missing many, and the ones they miss, they're generally getting those back. They've missed 18 shots and gotten 12 offensive rebounds. That's crazy.
That's ridiculous. More offensive rebounds than Florida State has total rebounds. I don't think I've ever seen this kind of thing happen to a Florida State team. 29-8.
A block is called on Jalen Withers. And we have a timeout on the floor. 13:21 to go in the second half. Carolina up large right now here in quarterfinal number 1. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Principal. Let our expertise round out yours. And 911 season premiere tonight at 8/7 Central on ABC. Stream on Hulu. All Carolina in this one. For more, here's Jess Sims.
Armando Bacot said Coach Davis sends out a thought of the day, and yesterday's was, the time to measure success is when all is said and done, not when there is more to be said and more to be done. And guys, the performance today shows that the Tar Heels have fully internalized this thought.
It feels, Jess, thank you, like they have come into this game as if losing this game would end their season. I mean, the talent is obviously there, but the want to, the determination, all that stuff has been off the charts for them today.
Well, after coming off that emotional game in Cameron Indoor Stadium and beating Duke and winning the outright ACC regular season championship, you might think there would be a letdown or a hangover effect. No way. I mean, they came out ready to take a swing at somebody, and right now Florida State's on the canvas and has to get up.
Withers down with a rebound. And Hubert talked to us a little bit about this at Cameron on Saturday. Everybody knows who they are. Everybody knows their role. The rotation is clear. They've got the 5 starters, and then Trimble, Withers, Washington come off the bench. They don't lose much. There's not much drop off there. Look at this feed. Another great cut, and there's Trimble to Withers, bench player to bench player. Like, everybody is contributing right now for this Carolina team.
And it seems like every player embraces his role without complaint. And that sounds like it should be a given, but it's not. You know, Trimble comes into the game and he just gets down in the stance and defends, and if a shot's there, he'll take it. But yeah, he's been outstanding of late.
Primo Spears with another mid-range jumper for Florida State, but it's still a 20-point game.
And Florida State still has not cracked double figures in rebounding for the game. Harrison Ingram and Armando Bacot, individually without the other one, have each out-rebounded the entire Florida State team.
Washington gathers and has it rejected.
That was a heck of a catch.
And then Withers the foul.
Seth Trimble comes into the game, great defender, but he's also a point guard. A little step back and a great cut by Jalen Withers, using the other side of the basket to shield off the block shot. That's not an up and under, you know.
Copy that. A look at the Phillips 66 Big 12 Men's Championship bracket. The quarterfinals going on today and also tonight. And let's pay particular attention to Kansas State at the bottom, beat Texas last night. Joe Lunardi has them first 4 out. So if you are a Pitt or Wake fan getting ready for that game, if K-State were to beat Iowa State, that boosts their resume a little bit. So a lot going on all around the country right now. Cadeau staying right in front of Watkins. Watkins initiates the contact and is called for the offensive foul.
Well, give credit to Cadeau. He switched out on Watkins. And to your point, stayed right in front. Seth Trimble staying on Darren Green, not letting him breathe.
Number 4 on Watkins. Trimble. And he draws the foul. He was looking to get on SportsCenter right there, wasn't he?
He's such a powerful athlete. I mean, it's almost like defensively he was born in a stance. Just a sophomore, and goes off 2 feet, double clutches, gets the foul from Bull Bowen.
Two shots coming for Trimble. The sophomore from Menominee Falls, Wisconsin, as Watkins and his 4 fouls will head to the bench. Chandler Jackson is in. And now Baba Miller is going to take the spot of Taylor Bowen, who just picked up his 3rd. A 22-point lead.
Look how far out Florida State has to go just to run offense.
That's Spears' game, the mid-range pull-up, but he can't knock down that one. And here comes Trimble again. Baycott with the offensive rebound, but we got a foul going against Carolina, and it is on Armando Baycott.
That's one way to keep Carolina from grabbing an offensive rebound. The officials have been the only one keeping them off the glass.
First game of the tournament for Carolina as the top seed. All the top 4 seeds earn the double bye. Florida State, of course, played yesterday. So Hubert Davis's team, this is their initial game, and even with this being a Thursday afternoon, as you and I look around this arena, there is a lot of Carolina blue in this house here in Washington right now.
And they've had a lot to cheer for in this one.
Florida State has overtaken Baycott 9-8.
What an effort.
Cam Corrin getting ready to go to the free throw line. Carolina's over the limit with 11:13 to go.
I know I've been harping on this a lot, but I can't remember a time in any game I've ever been to where we've gotten to the middle of the second half and a team hadn't had double-figure rebounds.
Yeah.
At the line for the Sunbelt, number 3, Cam Corrin, shooting 1 and 1.
Trimble the rebound. You're right. He gets up in the air so effortlessly, it looks like.
He's a big-time athlete.
Cadeau, again the driving left-handed layup. What a game he's having.
He just has another gear. And he's had his foot on the gas the whole game. Yeah, his energy level, diving on the floor.
Miller trying to go to work on Ingram. Can't get it to go. Tipped out to Cadeau. Ryan. Oh, and a good recovery by Jackson, but then he stepped out of bounds.
Just goes through the legs and just takes off. Gets through 2 defenders. Just a minimal effort there from Baba Miller to try to get a hand in there, but Cadeau was just gone.
And you'd think, well, you want to try to force him left, but he's as comfortable going left as he is going right.
And he does it with such a burst of speed. And that's been really the difference, I think, in Elliot Cadeau as the season has gone forward. Is, you know, he's not only picking his spots, but he's changing speeds. He's doing everything a point guard should do. I mean, the only thing he doesn't do, he's just not a reliable perimeter shooter. But that'll come. He'll continue to get better in that area. But, you know, the scouting report says play him as a driver. Okay. And then he drives by you anyway.
Ryan will sit, getting a nice ovation. And Paxton Wojcik, a grad transfer from Brown, checks in for the first time today. He actually started the first 3 games of the season for the Tar Heels. Spears gets where he wants to get and knocks down another one.
He's really been the only offense for Florida State.
Got 13.
10 in the last game against these 2. Hello.
I mean, impressive as anything, but if you're Leonard Hamilton, you're saying way too easy.
Well, you're trying to make something happen with full court pressure, but Carolina's attacking that pressure to score.
Boy, Carolina is executing in every single facet of the game here today.
And Florida State just looks shell-shocked. Got a switch.
Baycott calling for it. Kept it alive, and he's fouled.
Chandler Jackson had no chance to block him out. Another step on the ladder there for Seth Trimble. So powerful off 2 feet. That is full send.
Wow. Looked even cooler in slow motion. Wojcik's open. Ten to shoot. Trimble left it short, and Miller has it for the Seminoles.
It took until the 9:25 mark to get the 10th rebound.
And a Florida State foul will go on Cam Corrin, who has been limited due to foul trouble today. He's going to come out. Jalen Gainey checking in.
Jalen Gainey was the Ivy League Defensive Player of the Year when he was at Brown. Tore his ACL last year in his right knee.
Shooting 1-1.
Well, it's getting closer and closer, and we've got you covered on Selection Sunday. It all starts at 6 Eastern with SportsCenter on ESPN. A race of the guys look at the men's field of 68 as the brackets are announced, followed by bracketology with a breakdown of each region. And at 8, the women's field of 68 is revealed with bracketology and a complete breakdown as well.
I'm going to ignore that Reese and the guys thing.
Reese ignores the guys sometimes, doesn't he?
He does,
yeah.
But I don't think you can blame the writers or the promos on this.
But one of the guys is sitting over there just staring daggers at us right now. Jay Will. You don't want to be one of the guys? Jay Will be one of the guys. No? Jay Will doesn't want to be one of the guys.
Professor Williams in that turtleneck. I'm surprised he's not smoking a pipe over there.
Back in 30. And welcome back to Washington, D.C. Dan Schulman, Jay Billis, Jess Sims, and the North Carolina Tar Heels are putting on a clinic here this afternoon at both ends of the floor. They beat Florida State by 8 and by 7 in the 2 regular season matchups, trailed in the second half of each. They have never, I mean, it was 13-13 if memory serves a few minutes into the game, but since then they have never been threatened. They are up 26 right now, and here they go again. Oh, good play though by Spears. He prevented what likely would have been a dunk.
We're going to get Ingram with a foul here, I think. That might have been the first time, Dan. Gainey was first to the floor there. And he dove on the floor. That might have been the first time all game long that Florida State has beaten North Carolina to the floor for a loose ball.
And he appears to be grimacing and maybe limping a little bit as he goes to the free throw line.
At the line for Florida State, number 33, Jalen Gainey, shooting 1-1.
Leonard Hamilton's had a remarkable career. 22nd season in Tallahassee, 36th season overall as a Division I head coach, Oklahoma State, Miami. Before that, won the ACC Tournament Championship in 2012. And the Seminoles were awarded the title, if you will, in the COVID year. The initial year when everything was canceled in March, they were the regular season champs. But I mean, what he has done for the program and for the sport on and off the court should never be forgotten.
Just an amazing person and an amazing basketball coach. One of the all-time greats, not only in this league, but period.
Kept alive. Seminoles first to the floor again. Spears. And Gainey puts it home.
I think it was about 5 years ago. I was with Sean McDonough doing a big Monday game in Tallahassee, and Leonard Hamilton presented us both with a razor kit so we could shave our heads.
I remember that.
And he was trying to, I think he was telling me to surrender. Like the little bit of coverage I had.
Yeah.
Just what I really wanted to know is sort of his youthful skincare, all the things he must sleep in a hyperbaric chamber.
Yes.
I mean, he looks like he's 45 years old.
He does.
And he's 75.
Yep. Wojcik. Count it.
But the ball movement and the unselfishness has been exemplary for North Carolina.
Worley the drive and lays it in. A couple of heels had their backs turned to the ball, so that was an easy one for him. But look at them get down the floor. They've been doing this all day. Davis, he'll launch it. Washington comes up with it for the heels. Under 7.5 to go. Carolina looking to move on to the semis, up by 22. Davis got it back and hits it. Why not?
Unbelievable. I mean, he just put Baba Miller into the blender.
Spears to the free throw line. Not this time. And Cadeau's got it for Carolina. And he's got help with him. Shovel pass to Wojcik. And now Davis will slow it down. Lots of time on the shot clock, and the clock is their ally at this point. Misses the three. Chandler Jackson the rebound for the Seminoles. What a block by Washington after the no call on the contact. Gainey over Washington. And Washington will wrap it up. Again, no rush.
Yeah, it's a good decision.
You know, you look at Washington playing behind Baycott, obviously limited minutes, but he'd kind of be on the short list, I would think, of potential breakout candidates next year. He's got a ton of talent.
More of a face-up big guy. He'll catch the ball down into the post and give an inside pivot. He's got a really nice shooting touch.
Can impact shots at the rim, too. Worley the miss. Here comes Ingram.
Good pass.
Wojcik in transition. Draws a foul. 5:36 to go. Carolina cruising here against Florida State. We will have more on the impact of Leonard Hamilton when we come back. Well, we went to break talking about the impact Leonard Hamilton has had on the sport of college basketball. The first African-American coach in SEC history, an assistant at Kentucky 50 years ago, 1974, won Big East Coach of the Year at Miami. He's won it 3 times in the ACC with Florida State, has coached 9 first-round picks, 19 draft selections, well with the Seminoles, and a long, long list of coaches who have gone on to head coaching jobs after having been assistants on Leonard Hamilton's staff. He is truly one of the treasures of the sport.
And you ask Kansas coach Bill Self, the most influential person in his coaching career. He'll mention Larry Brown, but he'll really be effusive also about Leonard Hamilton, who hired him at Oklahoma State, Bill Self's alma mater. And that is quite a list of legends that Leonard Hamilton is among.
And if you're sitting down with a coach and you like coaches who can reminisce and tell wonderful stories about, you know, anything related to college basketball, Leonard Hamilton's a 1 seat in that discussion. He is unbelievable.
A very thoughtful person.
Yeah. They wrap up Washington. That'll be a tie-up, and the possession arrow will keep it with Carolina. Again, Wake and Pitt still to come in the next quarterfinal. That is a huge game for both programs, who both appear to be sitting on the bubble right now. Trimble the floater. Oh, he's had a good game too.
Just came off a little screen. And he goes off 2 feet, which he almost always does. Incredibly powerful.
R.J. Davis is on the bench. Armando Baycott is on the bench. And, you know, Hubert Davis thinking ahead a little bit. They're going to play again tomorrow. He's hoping they play 3 times in 3 days. So get some of the guys who have logged heavy minutes a few more minutes off right now. Under 5 to play. Cadeau, the only starter in the game right now for Carolina. Darren Green Jr. steps into a three. Nice rebound by Watkins, who's really been limited today by foul trouble after having that incredible game yesterday against Virginia Tech. Deeks are in the house. Boopy Miller, Efton Reed III, and others. Cam Hildreth there. This is a potentially explosive offensive team. They split their 2 games with Pitt during the season, the 4-5 matchup with lots of implications.
Cam Hildreth is going to be a big factor in that game against Pittsburgh. He spent a lot of time guarding Blake Hinson and did a really good job on him in the game they played against each other, and he's going to be key in this one.
Pitt's fun too. Bub Carrington, outstanding freshman year for Pitt, a member of the ACC all-rookie team. Hinson, first team all-ACC performer, almost 19 points per game. 2 good teams. $25-point lead for the Tar Heels. It's been that way for a while. And a turnover here to give it back to Florida State. Here comes Worley. Green is open in transition. And a foul underneath going against Carolina, I believe. Yep. Jalen Washington.
Is second personal 10th team foul.
10th team foul, 2 shots.
Number 3, King Horn at the line for Florida State. Shooting 2.
On the list of things that I didn't think would happen today, a 25-point blowout of Florida State was probably number 1 on the list.
I thought this would be a grind because Florida State can make you very uncomfortable with the depth and the length and the switching, and boy, Carolina just has played great this afternoon.
But to me, it's not just that they've played extraordinarily well, it's just how hard they've played.
Jalen Withers for 3.
Now, Withers hit over 43s last year for Louisville. He was more of a lead dog on that team, but he looks more and more comfortable as we get toward the very end of the season.
Tipped around, Washington gathers it in again. Watkins comes up with the steal. And Worley will lay it in for the Seminoles. Timeout Leonard Hamilton with 3:29 to go. And Carolina on its way to the semis. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by T. Rowe Price. Invest with confidence. And in part by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. And now for today's Expert Moves, brought to you by Principal. And Elliot Cadeau has certainly had a lot of expert moves, Jay, in this game.
Elliot Cadeau not only set the tone, he raised the level of the North Carolina effort. Talk about first to the floor. There was no way he should have been first to that ball, yet he was. Whether it was passing, steals, penetrating, and finishing, Elliot Cadeau did everything today. He was really the engine that started this North Carolina train that ran over Florida State.
You're painting quite a picture there. Well done. He's out for the last 3:29 of the game. Just went to the bench. Zayden High has come into the game, a freshman from San Antonio. Leonard Hamilton still has a number of his starters in the game. Hubert Davis does not have any of his starters in there right now, thinking about tomorrow. Withers tried to save it, winds up jumping over the first row of seats and landing right almost in the laps of the folks in the second row. And now Jalen Washington sits down. James Okonkwo comes in, transfer from West Virginia. Under 3 to play. Nice crossover by Watkins, and he'll lay it in. He's had to work hard for his dozen points today.
He really has. And there's been very little. What a nice play by Seth Trimble right down the middle of the floor to set up that lob.
Okonkwo with the flush. And a turnover. Here come the Heels again.
When Carolina set a season high for fast break points in this ball game, almost had a couple more right there.
The reverse for Zayden High. Everybody's getting in on the fun.
When you feel for Florida State, this has not been the Seminoles' day, but you just have to credit the amazing effort that North Carolina's put forth today.
They will take on the winner of our next game, Wake and Pitt, in the first semifinal tomorrow evening. Bottom half of the draw, 2 more quarterfinals coming your way, including Duke and Virginia, each making their first appearance of the tournament. Seth Trimble's having a heck of an afternoon.
Started it out with defense. And I really think early on did a great job on Jameer Watkins.
Tough jumper that will go for Josh Nickelberry, who's just come in the last couple of minutes.
And he can really shoot it. Hadn't had the greatest of shooting years this year, but he's a terrific shooter.
And Hubert Davis calls a timeout just to bring some more bodies in there, as Rob Landry has checked in, Dewey Ferris, and Creighton Lebo, the son of assistant coach Jeff Lebo. Everybody wearing Carolina blue has to be impressed with what they have seen today.
I'm impressed. Creighton Lebo, number 14. That was his dad's, Jeff's number. His father, Jeff, was a great player at North Carolina in the mid to late 80s. I actually hosted him on his visit to Duke.
Right. Zayden High again.
That was a big reason he went to North Carolina.
You had quite an impression on him. Obviously, you showed him a great time that weekend. Tom House into the game for Florida State. Spears is still in there and still knocking down shots. He's got 17. And now who's going to get the shot on this trip?
Dewey Ferris over in the left corner. His mother, Blair Ferris, is the style guru of Charlotte, North Carolina.
Really?
Yeah, she runs Peachy, the magazine. She's big time in the style area.
Lebo takes it, can't hit it. Nickelberry's got it. Shot clock's turned off. Carolina gets it back. They don't need to put a shot up with 15 seconds to go. And listen to the Carolina fans enjoying this one.
Well, they saw a workmanlike effort where Carolina was tough and together from the opening tap.
92-67. They win it going away. And the number 1 seed has advanced into the semifinals, where they will play tomorrow evening against the winner of Pitt and Wake. Everybody got in on it. Just a great effort at both ends of the floor. You're looking at Darren Green Jr., whose career could have come to an end today if Florida State were to not get an NIT invite. That's the other side of the coin, of course. But for Hubert Davis and company, they will sit back. The coaches will watch the next game. And when this team plays like this, they can play with anybody in the country. A look at the latest bracket here for the ACC Men's Tournament, presented by T. Rowe Price. As we mentioned, we got a big one coming. Couple of bubble teams, Pitt and Wake, coming up shortly on ESPN2, and then Virginia, BC, Duke, and State tonight in the evening session, with it all culminating with the championship game Saturday night. Jess Sims is with Elliot Cadeau.
Elliot, you are all over of the court today from the jump, brought so much energy to your team today. What was your mindset heading into the game?
Well, my mindset was just to play hard. We really want to win this tournament, so I just wanted to do what I could to win this game.
Absolutely. Well, so speaking about your team, everybody contributed today, literally everybody. So everyone seems to know their role. What's it like playing for this team?
I mean, it's great. I haven't ever played for a team like this in my life, and just for everybody to know their role, and just for us to have the chemistry we have on the court is just crazy, and we're really good. Yeah, you are. I agree. Last question. So semifinals are tomorrow. Are you kind of a one game at a time kind of guy, or are you guys zooming out and thinking bigger picture? Oh, no, we're definitely a one game at a time kind of team, and we're just locked in. We're going to be locked in for tomorrow. Perfect. Best of luck. Thank you.
Great job by Cadeau. Great job by all of the Tar Heels here today. And you heard what he said. We want to win this tournament. They are thinking about trying to win a championship here this week, and they are off to a good start on their way to the semifinals. Wake and Pitt still to come. Lots going on all day long here for the ACC tournament.